Greetings, subscribers. I bet you didn't expect me to pull that old term out, but regardless, today I'm reading Who's Fattening Heather, a comic by Magma Man, an artist you can support on Patreon to get massive amounts of exclusive comic pages. Jack couldn't help but stare as his new stepsister talked with her friends at his parents' wedding, wearing the tightest and most inappropriate dress she could wear, probably to annoy her mother. It clung to every soft curve on her 21-year-old body. For the last year, while their parents were dating, they'd always had sort of a flirty thing going on. After all, he was only 2 years older than her, but they kept it appropriate. She had just arrived home yesterday from her second year at college and had a full summer ahead of her with lots of plans. She was what the world would call a one-of-a-kind knockout. She had always taken care of her body, not a fanatic, not a health nut, or exercise freak, but she was conditioned and kept her diet in proportion. Way too thin for Jack's personal tastes, of course. Well, this is a Magma Man comic. But all of the markings of an eventual chunkster were there. He didn't even realize he had been staring directly at him for some time, but as he snapped out of his daze, he noticed she probably had been for some time. She stumbled over, obviously drunk on wine. He knew he had been caught and he was in trouble. Why did he make it so blatant?
Hey, mister, you like what you see? Haha, hick.
No, Heather,
Just kidding. Hick. Oh, hey, can I ask you a question?
Who's Fattening Heather? I want to introduce you to my newest comic, a very loose adaptation of the awesome story Who's Fattening Heather, written by Clark Palmed. Notes: I've taken many liberties with the story, and used it as a general framework. For instance, the first panel or two is based on the Wicked Stepfather intro by the great writer and friend of the show, Maverick the Writer, and I had always wanted to include it in a comic without doing the full Stepfather story in comic form. So now there is a stepbrother, and he's not particularly wicked. Many of this comic has already been posted over on my Patreon.
Yeah, so, what do you think about my body these days?
Oh, why would you ask me that?
Well, I put on a few pounds at college this year. All that free food, you know. I couldn't help myself. Hick. But don't act like I don't see you noticing.
Well,
Swig. Anyway, I was just curious what your thoughts were. I actually think the extra weight is kinda hot. Hick. I've seen the girls you've brought home. I know you like 'em big.
Yes, well, you look fantastic.
Just fantastic. Dang, I was hoping... or something. Am I not fat enough to be your type? Hick. Not going to lie. I've always wondered what I'd look like if I totally porked out. You'd probably love to see that. Weirdo.
Jack couldn't help but wonder why she was saying all of this. Did he find one of his fat sights and was messing with him? Jack did everything he could to contain himself from what would she look like fatter? Inches added to her waist?
So yeah. Crazy, isn't it? I think I've already put on like 10 pounds since graduation. Heck. Anyway, I gotta get back and dance. This is my song.
Oh God, was she secretly into this stuff subconsciously and didn't want to admit it to herself? Was this her way of letting him know? He'd have to follow up with this. Jack woke her up early the next morning with breakfast in bed. He figured Heather probably had a huge hangover and headache after last night's drunken time. Good morning. Hope you had a good time last night. I made you pancakes and waffles and... oh, sorry.
It's so bright. Everything hurts so much.
He quickly averted his eyes, pretending not to notice. She probably just threw on whatever and jumped into bed last night. He realized looking away was the right move, and she responded, while doing a morning stretch.
Oh God, like you haven't seen me in a bikini or something before. Goodness, if you're going to be living here, you can't turn away every time you see me in underwear, you know.
Stretch. Yeah, true. Sorry, I just wanted to bring you a hangover cure and tell you I really appreciate you confiding in me last night. She looked puzzled, maybe even slightly afraid.
Oh no, about what? What did I say?
Jack realized then she probably didn't remember anything from last night, especially not the talk. He quickly recovered. Oh, just how you love having me as part of the family now.
Oh, right. Yeah, cool.
She might have forgotten what she said last night, but he sure hadn't. But that's all the current public pages. If you want the complete comic, or if you want all the pages that have currently been made, then the place to get them is Magma Man's Patreon. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's video.